Chris, to me, is like a representation of everything good, unlike his counterpart, Wesker. He's probably like the most selfless character I've ever come across in a video game. What quality in Chris do you admire the most?
Maybe the dedication that he has to his partner.
Right.
Now with this new partner, they keep bringing up the theme of, are you ready, partner? There are no more orders from here on in. It's just us.
We are partners. To the end. Now let's get moving.
They kind of beat you over the head with it a little bit, but it's
right, they do.
It's cool that, he's real big on teamwork, I guess. That's such a cheesy answer. Well, world peace.
But I mean, you must have dedication.
Well, yeah, I mean, like that, and he's a badass. So you got to admire that. I mean,
because you don't got it.
No, because I don't have that. I don't have that at all. I don't have the badass gene, and I'm completely undedicated to everything.
Personally, you're my favorite Chris. I think your voice embodies the Chris that all his fans know and love. It just seems like natural, even though I can only imagine how much repetition you went through. Were there any tough moments during the recording process where you thought, okay, we're never going to get through this? Such as all the go, come on, there's like a billion.
I guess not so much that stuff, but there were a couple times where it was like a scream, where it was, there's a fine line between your screaming goes into like a falsetto, or your screaming goes into what I think they kept referring to it as a Louis Armstrong thing.
Can you explain? Because I am
instead of going as opposed to if it went to the they felt that was a little too Louis Armstrong, I see stars and so there were a couple times where I found myself going, I don't know, because especially when you start screaming, you do this so often that eventually your voice is just only going to be able to do certain things a few times before it's just in order to save the voice, or in order to project, or in order to to scream. You're gonna have to go to a certain vocal register that you can only do it in the Louis Armstrong sound. So there were a couple times where some screams were going on that I felt like, wow, okay, I'm not gonna be able to get this for him, and then inevitably Liam or Stephanie would do a great job of getting me where I needed to be, and then we'd get it and we'd move on. The come-ons and all that stuff, you actually get through those pretty quick, because it's just, it's kind of like when they say okay, this is you getting punched, give us 3 in a row. You're getting punched in the head. You do 3 punches to the head, and then they say, all right, now you're getting punched in the midsection. You do 3 punches in the midsection. You just sort of give the director a bunch of different options, and then they turn around and look at the client, and the client says, yep, that'll work.
So you just make a bunch of noises until something works.
Yeah, for the most part. There's certain little, I don't know, standards that kind of go along.
Right.
A lot of times you'll hear actors say the AEIOU thing, which is where it's if you give them the then you're giving them some sort of coverage. I've never been punched in the face, I've never been kicked in the gut, so I just am sort of doing what I think it would sound like if that happened to me.
So what was your favorite line by Chris?
Suck on this, Wesker.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. I thought that was so hilarious that we got to say that in the game. I remember seeing that line in the script and looking up at the folks in the control room going are you serious? This is going to make it. We're going to get to say this? That is the greatest line I've ever said in a video game. Suck on this, Wesker.
That's awesome.
That was too much fun. Ready, partner?
Locked and loaded.
How did you ultimately decide what Chris should sound like? Is there generally a lot of directing involved in the recording process, or do you get to bring your own personality to the role, or is it just
Well, that's actually where Stephanie and Liam did such a great job working with me, because it was some of my initial choices I think were off, and there were a couple times when some of the earlier game trailers were coming out, I would listen, because obviously I haven't read the entire script, and so I'm not, I don't know everything that's going to be going on. So all I'm doing is opening up a page and reading, lines that are right there in front of me, and I might get the context of the lines completely incorrect for what really needs to happen there. And so yes, the directors are hugely instrumental in helping me develop the character and helping me develop the voice. As far as where you start from, 9 times out of 10, it's just you talk to a director or the client basically says we're looking, age range of like, 25 to 35. He's, is he a ladies' man or is he a sensitive type? Is he, is he a jock or is he just more like the hipster or is he a stoner? And you start sort of adjusting the way you would approach the copy from that. And, is he barrel-chested? Is he more, kind of breathy? There's all those kinds of things.
Right.
And they were really, really helpful in us sort of developing that kind of, the more and more I find myself, he was just like, he was cool all the time kind of thing, as opposed to just sort of, being, I don't know, like some sort of, jock who's out there to, like kick ass and take names all the time.
Bad, you won't make it much further.
Are you ultimately happy with your success and decision to be a voice actor?
Absolutely. I had an old high school drama teacher who is obviously, she's thrilled for me. Mm-hmm. And she said something the other day that I thought was really interesting. We all had a reunion with her a while back, and she said, the path is never linear.
Right.
Back even in high school, I was doing funny voices and characters and stuff, and I was always a goofball. And, so naturally people were telling me, oh, you should go into stand-up comedy. And then I was, thinking, oh, okay, and gave that a shot. And then while I was in stand-up comedy, people were saying, you should look into voiceover. And I found this, and it was such an unbelievably awesome fit for me.
Very happy.
So, like I say, not a day goes by that I don't just find myself going, this is insane, this is so much fun, and I am so humbled and grateful to be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to say to all the Resident Evil fans, or anything you'd like to add?
Just how blown away I am by how rabid the fans are, and now I finally get it, and I'm so sorry that that it took me.
Oh my God, yeah, that's
fine. Book the role of Chris to understand how cool this series is, and how impressed I am with how much support everybody has for the game. I mean, it's a lot of fun getting online.
It's a huge fan base.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And seeing the user forums and people voicing their opinions and the knowledge. For me, it's such a huge honor to play this role. And when I say that, I'm absolutely hoping that everybody gets a kick out of this, because I can tell you from every single session we were working on, everybody wanted to deliver the top-notch performance, because we know how much this stuff means to the fans. So I'm just I'm thrilled to have the role of Chris, and I absolutely hope that everybody out there is enjoying it, and if you don't, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry.
So I'm guessing that if they offered you the role again, you'd definitely take it.
In a heartbeat.
Awesome.
I'm not gonna stop until I'm dead.
I bet you're the kind of guy who wears Birkenstocks, am I right?
Hell no.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
You're from Northern California?
I don't know. I can't stand guys who wear that.
Really?
Yes. You'd be surprised. And then with socks. That's the worst.
Oh, God.
Yes.
What do you think, I'm 50?
I don't know. That's just
Birkenstocks socks. That's really cool. Thanks for that. I got mooned on the freeway. Got mooned driving back from LA one night, and there was a girl just hanging her butt out the center window. It just slowed traffic down. A whole bunch of people kind of hanging out.
It's awesome to be in that position, right?
yeah, exactly. It's it'll make traffic a little more enjoyable. But I think Chris would definitely be into leather. I mean, you've got to know he's overcompensating for something with all the huge arms and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
He very likely is into wearing ladies' underwear.